Pelvic wall. Pelvic wall is today's topic. Pelvic wall is made up of bones and ligaments and the muscles covering it. Anterior pelvic wall is short and it is formed by body of pubic bones, pubic symphysis, which is a secondary cartilaginous joint, and it is also having pubic rami. Posterior pelvic wall, it is longer and it is formed by sacrum and coccyx. Lateral pelvic wall, it is formed by the pelvic surface of hip bone surrounding obturator foramen. You can see the obturator foramen. This is the pelvic surface of hip bone, which is surrounded by the surrounding the obturator foramen, and closed by this obturator foramen is closed by obturator membrane, except at the antero-inferior aspect of the foramen, which is called as obturator canal, through which the obturator nerves and vessels passes through. This pelvic wall, pelvic surface of the hip bone is clothed by obturator internus muscle, which hence will be covered by obturator fascia. Now, after seeing the bones forming the wall of the pelvis, now we are seeing here a specimen which is sagittal section of male pelvis. Okay. Now we will be seeing the muscles of the pelvic wall. Mainly the muscles of the pelvic wall are of three. What we are seeing here, this is pelvic fascia. Okay. These muscles will be covered by pelvic fascia. Once we retract the pelvic fascia, if you can see these fanned out muscle, this from the pubic bone, okay, this is the pubic rami. So the muscle what is been fanning out like this, that is only called as levator ani. Levator ani comprises of mainly two parts. You can see here, anteriorly it comprises of pubococcygeus and posteriorly it comprises of iliococcygeus. Okay, once this levator ani you can see, posteriorly you can see one more muscle that is called as piriformis. This is sacrum. If you understand, this is sacrum and coccyx. These are lumbar vertebrae. Okay, the last lower limits of lumbar maybe L4, L5, and this is the entire sacrum and the coccyx. So have an orientation. This is pubic bone. Okay, so levator ani is one of a muscle. Levator ani mainly comprises of two parts, anteriorly pubococcygeus and posteriorly iliococcygeus, from the ilium part of the hip bone. And posteriorly you can see one muscle, that is piriformis. Apart from that, there's one more muscle called as coccygeus, coming from the tip of the coccyx. So now levator ani and coccygeus together we call it as pelvic diaphragm. Pelvic diaphragm is a very important support for the pelvic viscera, and also it provides sphincter around the vagina in female and rectum in male and female, also into the urethra. Now these sphincters are very important, okay, because they are required to increase intra-abdominal pressure during certain activities like defecation and micturition. Now this is what is called as pelvic floor or the pelvic diaphragm. Okay, now after seeing the muscles of pelvic wall, let us go and see into arteries of pelvic wall. Okay, the main artery of pelvic wall is internal iliac artery. Please focus here, internal iliac artery. Internal iliac artery is the smallest terminal branch of common iliac artery. What you are seeing here is a common iliac artery. You all know that the abdominal aorta will bifurcate into right and left common iliac artery. Common iliac artery will further bifurcate into internal, a smaller branch as internal iliac artery and a larger as external iliac artery. External iliac artery will continue as femoral artery, like you all know. Internal iliac artery is what we need to focus now. Okay, this is the main artery of pelvis. Internal iliac artery will further divide very shortly with a short course. It further divides into anterior division and posterior division. Anterior division and posterior division, guys, these are spotters, by the way, these two divisions and the internal iliac artery, so please focus. Anterior division of internal iliac artery branches is what we are going to discuss now. Okay, so the first branch what you are seeing here is called as superior vesical artery. superior vesical artery has some importance here. Superior vesical artery is the proximal aspect of the superior vesical artery is patent, and it will supply the, as you all can hear from the term, vesicle means bladder. The distal aspect of which will get remnant to form median umbilical ligament. Okay, so that's about the first branch, superior vesical artery. Now you can also see inferior vesical artery. Inferior vesical artery, with the term you can understand what it supplies. In females, inferior vesical artery is replaced by vaginal artery. As you can see, this is a male pelvis. We are just focusing on inferior vesical artery. Also, if it was a female pelvis, we will have one more branch which is exclusively for the uterus called as uterine artery. Okay, which is not here because it's a male pelvis. Now after seeing these two branches, you can see a very important branch here called as obturator artery. How am I identifying this as obturator artery? Because it is following obturator nerve. You can very well see that the obturator artery and obturator nerve is entering into obturator canal. Like I have mentioned earlier, obturator canal is a opening in the obturator membrane, antero-inferior aspect of obturator membrane. This branch, what you are seeing, is the internal pudendal artery. Internal pudendal artery is the main artery of the perineum. You can see it is exiting the pelvis through the greater sciatic foramen beneath to the piriformis. Now below to the piriformis, what does it do? It will re-enter into the pelvis. It will re-enter through the pelvis through lesser sciatic foramen. Now after we have seen all these branches, let us recall till here. This is superior vesical artery, inferior vesical artery, obturator artery, internal pudendal artery. Internal pudendal artery is the main artery of perineum. After seeing this, you will also see the last branch from the anterior division, that is called as inferior gluteal artery. Inferior gluteal artery. You can see it is exiting the pelvis and entering into the gluteal region via greater sciatic foramen. Also, there is one more branch, I'm sorry, it got cut from the stump, that is this, supplying the rectum. This branch is called as middle rectal artery. Middle rectal artery. It has got cut from here, guys. Middle rectal artery. You all know superior rectal artery is a continuation of inferior mesenteric artery. Middle rectal artery is a branch of anterior division of internal iliac artery. Middle rectal artery. Middle rectal artery will go into the rectum and anastomose with the superior rectal artery and inferior rectal artery. Now after the branches of the anterior division of internal iliac is over, we will go into the posterior division of internal iliac artery. Posterior division of internal iliac artery, you can see it has three branches. The upper branch is called as iliolumbar artery. Iliolumbar artery. Iliolumbar artery. This is lateral sacral artery. You all know this is sacrum. Not only one, there will be more than one, sometimes two also. Lateral sacral artery, this one. Iliolumbar artery, lateral sacral artery, and the posterior division will further continue as one more important branch called a superior gluteal artery. You can see this was inferior gluteal artery, which was a branch of anterior division. Superior gluteal artery is a branch of posterior division of internal iliac artery. That's it. Okay, coming to the last aspect of today's topic, accompanying these artery branches will be its corresponding veins, that is veins of internal iliac vein, okay, which has been avulsed in order to show you the branches of internal iliac artery. Not only that, it is also drained by certain lymph nodes. They are called as internal iliac group of lymph nodes. Now let us see some nerves of the pelvic wall. Can you see here this trunk? This is only called as lumbosacral trunk here. Lumbosacral trunk. Is it clear? Lumbosacral trunk. Apart from lumbosacral trunk, you can see the ventral rami of S1, S2 to form the sacral plexus. Further it goes down. I have not traced it further. These are all sacral plexus. Lumbosacral trunk, sacral plexus. Yeah. Further to that, you can see here sympathetic chain. Can you see here a ganglia also? Yeah, sympathetic chain. So that completes the pelvic wall. Let us recall the whole thing, what we have noticed. Okay, pelvic wall is mainly comprising of bones, ligaments, muscles, vessels, okay, and nerves. Now bones എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ anteriorly pubic symphysis, pubic body of pubis, and pubic ramus. Posteriorly we have the sacrum, coccyx. Ligaments, if you see, from the tip of the coccyx to the ischial spine will be sacrospinous ligament. Sacrospinous ligament. On top of sacrospinous ligament, the muscle fiber which you can see, that is only coccygeus muscle. Further behind, it will be more evident in the gluteal region, that will be sacrotuberous ligament. So sacrospinous ligament and the sacrotuberous ligament will divide the gap here posteriorly into what? Into two foramina, that is greater sciatic foramen and lesser sciatic foramen. Apart from knowing the bones boundaries, you can also see the muscles. What are the muscles? You can see here there is levator ani, piriformis, coccygeus, obturator internus would be deeper inside. All these are covered by fascia called as pelvic fascia. Now once that is all been discussed, you can see there are certain very important artery which is supplying the pelvic wall, that is only internal iliac artery. Internal iliac artery is two division. Anterior division being anterior, pubic symphysis always orient, it is towards anterior. Anterior division and its so many branches, and posterior division with its 3 branches. And with the nerves and the vessels, we'll conclude the video. Thank you.